Hello and welcome to the Boro Breakdown podcast. Big news coming out of Middlesbrough this afternoon. Manager Michael Carrick has signed a new 3-year contract that will keep him at the club until 2027. Now, I guess this was news that we were all expecting, but from my point of view, I was looking at managerial vacancies at Brighton and at Chelsea, and at one point it looked like Kieran McKenna was potentially leaving Ipswich, and I thought, could Boro be embroiled in a little bit of a managerial domino effect? Because to be honest, if Ipswich did lose McKenna, I do feel like they might have had Michael Carrick on their shortlist. So I wasn't worried about that, but I was mindful of it. But no problem in the end, because Michael Carrick is staying at Middlesbrough, and I would go as far as to say that this is Boro's biggest signing of the summer. I spoke quite a few times towards the back end of the season just gone on the pod about player retention. But just retention generally really is really important for Boro. And in the case of Michael Carrick, to keep a key asset in the coaching staff there is just brilliant news. He is a really good manager with still things to develop, which I think is quite exciting actually, because you think about last season and we ended the campaign 4 points off the playoffs. To be honest, our playoff hopes, the flame went out a few weeks before the actual end of the season, but with everything that he had to deal with last season in regards to player unavailability through fitness, through the Asia Cup, through suspension, it was a really difficult season for him. And I don't think at any point he had his best starting 11 out. And oftentimes he had to experiment. We saw Sammy Silvera play up front. We saw Sam Greenwood play up front. We saw a difference at the beginning of the season when he was trying to respond to the loss of key personnel last season. So thinking about that, actually, how much player turnover we had last campaign, that's why it's so important this summer that we keep as much of this squad, of this collective, playing staff and non-playing staff, together as possible. Obviously, there is rumours, reports about Aaron Danks potentially leaving to join Vincent Kompany at Bayern Munich, but are holding pretty firm they want a compensation fee for that if it is to happen. And Bayern Munich at this point, the latest reports are saying that Bayern don't want to agree to that. That will probably change though, because if Vincent Kompany really wants Aaron Danks, then he will get him. But Michael Carrick is such a pivotal part of Middlesbrough Football Club and the next iteration of Middlesbrough, because he has shown himself as a good manager based on last season, based on the season before that when he got us into the playoffs under basically no expectation to do so. We have watched some really good attacking football, and as a fan, that is all I want to see from my football club. I want to see that slick, swashbuckling style of player. And at times it kind of fell down last season, which is no surprise because of the issues that Michael Carrick and the team had to contend with. We spoke to Matt Crooks earlier on in the season, and well, it was towards the halfway point of the season. What am I going on about? And he basically said that players were getting injured, then other players had to play probably more than they were expected to. And then it was just this complete clusterfuck of injuries and fitness issues. And it just didn't materialize into a good season because of that. And it was just one of those seasons where I think the Athletic would be rubbing their hands together, just thinking, God, we could do a deep dive on this. So I'm really excited for the future under Michael Carrick. I am glad that he will be a part of Boro's future. It is a really important signing, the most important signing. And I'm ever so glad that he's staying. I'm not the only one that's glad that he's staying, though. You will notice that I am alone on this podcast, but I did ask Jonny for his thoughts. He's currently on holiday, but that doesn't stop him from joining in with this episode. So what did Jonny have to say about Michael Carrick signing on for 3 more years?
So then, Michael Carrick, new deal to 2027. How do I feel about it? Well, I'm in a place right now where about 2 years ago, we just sacked Chris Wilder, and there was doom and gloom, and he was always gonna go to Burnley or gonna go to Bournemouth, and it never materialised. And look how his trajectory has turned out since then. But since the last time I was here, it was quite nice to actually reflect on it when I seen the news that Carrick had signed a new deal. Is that how much has changed, and positively changed as well. You know, the atmosphere on the club, the coaching staff have improved, the manager's done so well, the players have developed, and we're coming off a season where it was a bit of a what if, but when we look at our numbers since Carrick came in, when we look at our performances, everything has been really rosy since Michael Carrick came in the building. And you know what? I'm really happy that he signed another 3 year deal. I feel like the project is still going. It's in that phase 2 now. But also we're coming into a season as well where I was saying that when a director of football or head of football comes in, like Kieran Scott, you'll start to see the fruit of its labours maybe 2 or 3 years in that. This is the third season now of Kieran Scott, so I'm really excited to see what we can do this year. But under Michael Carrick, I am so pleased he signed a new deal. He's definitely the right man to take us forward. And you know, 3 years is a long time in football, and will he stay the 3 years? Who knows? But I would love to keep Carrick for the long term. I think he's the right man for us. We're in the right position. We're getting the right players in. Hopefully we add to the squad more in the summer, and we can start to kick on again. But honestly, it's funny when I'm here. Get some big news dropping, you know, Danksy, you know, potentially going, Carrick signing a new deal, Chris Wilder going, telling you I need to stop coming to this place because big things happen and I tend to miss them. But yeah, overall, really pleased that Carrick signed a new deal, and 3 more years, assuming that Carrick is what on everyone's wish list in the summer. So happy days for us, happy days for you, Dana, when you're recording this video, and up the fucking butter.
Absolute shithouse. He's always on holiday. But Jonny is happy with the news. It'd be good to hear what you guys think of Michael Carrick signing a new deal. Of course, we did do an end of season survey, and in regards to faith in Michael Carrick, out of 265 responses, 120 of those, so 45.3%, had complete 10 out of 10 faith in Carrick. So, you know, that's not been plain sailing this season. Like, we haven't got to that point without Carrick having criticisms. There was points last season where question marks were maybe forming around him because of, I guess, the way that Boro were playing, but also the way that he was maybe a little bit reluctant to change things in game. That was one of the big criticisms that I heard quite frequently post match about Michael Carrick, that he's maybe a bit too slow to change things. But this is the thing, Michael Carrick is still a young coach, and the season just gone was his first full season in charge. And it's quite easy to not recognise that or to forget that, because we did reach such a high under him the season before last. So he does still have development to go through. I'm glad that we get to see that here at Middlesbrough, because he, for me, is a fantastic manager. I've really enjoyed watching this Middlesbrough team, his Middlesbrough team. And honestly, yes, I think this is the best signing of the window, the best signing that Boro could make this summer. So yeah, it'd be good to hear your thoughts. If you have any reactions to this, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you have, please drop a comment in our YouTube comments. Please tweet us, Boro_breakdown, send us a message or a comment on Facebook and Instagram as well. We really appreciate all of the interactions that we get in response to these podcasts. On signing a new deal, Michael Carrick said, "I'm really happy about it. I've always been quite calm about it. I think having that attachment, that trust, and that belief within the club is really important. We've certainly got that. That's what still gives me the great feeling that I had when I first walked through the door. It feels like a big step as a headline, as a statement, but really it doesn't change anything I do or how I approach it. It just carries on what we've been trying to achieve." So I'm really excited about Michael Carrick staying on for 3 years. I can't wait to see how those 3 years develop and what transpires of it. Fingers crossed we can improve next season on last season. I'm really excited to see him develop players at this club, because we have seen he can do that. And I'm also excited about the signings that Boro could make. off the back of this, because I think Michael Carrick as a manager, and obviously the illustrious career that he had, he's a big pull, and he will be a big factor in the signings that Boro make this summer. So to have that stability, to have that security in knowing that he's going to be here for the next 3 years, I think is just as important for any new signings that come through the door. So yeah, absolutely buzzing with Michael Carrick staying on. As I mentioned, let us know what you think in the comments, and we'll be back with a video whenever the next piece of news happens. Hopefully it's not Aaron Danks joining Bayern Munich. But until then, take care, enjoy your summer, although it looks like it's going to piss it down today, and up the Boro.